What is up, guys? I'm Patrick at Spartansuppz.com with a supplement review on Men's Sports Game Day. This is their fully loaded pre-workout powerhouse. We're going to go over the ingredients, we're going to break them down, tell you what they do, tell you how they work, cover the dosages if they're effective or otherwise. We'll go over taste, mixability, value for money, and we're definitely going to cover effects since this is a pre-workout. That is the whole reason you're taking the damn thing. So let's jump straight into it because this is a loaded product and break down the product. So on screen now you want to see one of these, which is a nutritional information panel for Men's Sports Game Day. Each one of these tubs is absolutely full to the brim. It is loaded. It is a 17 gram serve and there's 30 of them in this here tub. Now I've gone ahead and added up all of the active ingredients in here, and there is 15,008 or 80 milligrams, which gives 88% actives, which is a massive amount. 70 grams in general for a serve is huge. So there is a lot of things in this particular product. As you can see from the nutritional panel on your screen, it is completely transparently dosed as well, so you can see every single ingredient down to the milligram, exactly what's in it, which I really like. Makes my job very easy to break down the ingredients. So we are going to, and they've also compartmentalized into what each of the ingredients does, which makes it even simpler, so we can all learn a little bit about them. So we're going to cover up the 111, L-Citrulline, 6,000 milligrams, which is far and away full clinical dose. Typically L-Citrulline you'd see 4 grams as the effective dose, or citrulline and malate being in the 6 gram dose. So 6 grams of pure L-Citrulline is excellent. This is great to oxygenate our blood cells for muscular endurance. So I call it pumps with a purpose. Yes, it does induce more blood flow. It's a weak vasodilator, but it's excellent at oxygenating our blood so we can push ourselves harder for longer. So think better muscular endurance. This works in synergy with your agmatine sulfate, which is a vasodilator, so it opens up our blood vessels so they can pump bigger. So I think with the citrulline we're going to have more capacity, more to pump, and the agmatine is going to give us a wider hose or channel to pump it along. Taurine is a great cell volumizer and hydrating nutrient as well, so that's going to allow our blood to stay sort of thinner and pump along nicely, and that's going to bring more nutrients to the cell as well. Anything that contains stimulants, it's not a bad idea to have taurine in there to sort of cancel out some of the mild diuretic effects of the stimulants in themselves. Next up we have our strength and endurance foundation, which starts with 2,000 milligrams of creatine hydrochloride. This is an absolutely monster dose. A effective dose of creatine hydrochloride for the average human is going to be around 1,000 milligrams, so 2 grams is quite a big amount. I personally am a big fan of hydrochloride because it's got great solubility, which is its ability to mix in water, and cell permeability, like you can actually get into the muscle cell where it's really needed. So hydrochloride is like a better form of creatine. No gastric upset, no bloating, no loading required, and it's much more concentrated. So we're thinking 2 grams of creatine hydrochloride is equivalent to taking around 15 to 20 grams, I should say, of creatine mono. So it leaves a lot of space in there. And for a lot of people, taking big doses of mono, if they haven't taken it before, might cause a little bit of gastric upset, a little bit of bloating. We definitely don't want that pre-workout, or at all, really. So this is a really nice way to get that muscle power benefit without having the gastric upset. In short, what creatine does is it recycles energy for explosive lifting. So that's our power to perform. It's going to give us like a strength endurance so we can push out more reps with heavy weight. So instead of getting maybe 7 or 8, you might be able to get 8, 9 or 10 repetitions and do more damage. That works very well in synergy alongside our next ingredient, which is 3,200 milligrams of beta-alanine. Beta-alanine buffers hydrogen ions. It pushes up our lactate threshold for more muscular endurance. So think if these are like your levels of performance. Your creatine's working down here at your base strength, your beta-alanine's working to sort of push up that threshold, and our L-Citrulline and agmatine are working in synergy to allow us to sort of get to that threshold as well, because we've got more capacity and now we've got a higher threshold as well. So those three really work synergistically with one another for power, strength and endurance. All super effectively dosed, if not overdosed. Really couldn't ask for much more. We'll come back to that when we cover the effects as well. In our mind-muscle connection cocktail, we have 1,000 milligrams of choline bitartrate. This is an effective dose. There's a whole bunch of different forms of choline, but it helps to improve mental focus. It gets our brain in the zone, gets us on point, and helps us to channel some of the energy which comes from some of the stimulants. 1,000 milligrams is a very generous dose without being ridiculous. If you have too much choline, you can get a little bit dopey, whereas this is a really effective dose, so you're going to notice it and it's going to work nicely alongside the stimulants. Speaking of, we've got some Junipus communis berry, or some juniper berry as it gets referred to, 150 milligrams, which is quite a lot. This is really, think of it as like an enhancer for stimulants and for digesting other nutrients as well. It's going to ensure optimal utilization, particularly of the caffeine, and it's going to extend the life of them, intensify their effects. Next on our stimulant blend, or mind-muscle connection, I'd call this a combination of nootropic, focus agent, and a mild stimulant, would be Neurofactor. So coffee fruit extract, 100 milligrams. That is the research and effective dose. Neurofactor is a really cool ingredient. It's come to light only recently, in the last sort of 6 months or so, but very cool. So I have an excerpt to read you on Neurofactor. Stimulates brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is vital to brain health. Plays a critical role in development, maintenance, repair, and protection against neurodegeneration. So it not only is it improving our capacity in terms of memory, learning, and retention, but it's also helped to prevent some of those degenerative effects. Now, the study was done with a dose of 100 milligrams, and it increased our levels of BNT sorry, I should have had some before, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, 143% after that 100 milligram dose. So that's a significant increase. We're looking, and that kicked in quite quickly, because that effect was noticed within an hour. So the marks were measured on the hour, every hour, up to 3 hours, and that same 143% increase was noticed throughout. So that's a significant increase. What you're going to notice is you've got better focus, better memory, and you feel sharp when you have that. Alongside a CNS stimulant like caffeine, Neurofactor is fantastic. This ingredient is finding its way into more fat burners, into more nootropics, to enhance our cognitive capacity as well. Not only our physiological side, but also our psychological, to get our brain in the game, which is ultimately what controls our body and allows us to do more work. So I think, what has memory and retention got to do with pre-workout? I said, well, that's going to help improve your mind-muscle connection, get you in the zone, and help you to learn that exercise, that motor unit pathway, faster and more effectively. Because once you master the exercise, which takes a number of years realistically, you're going to be much better at it. You're going to be able to get that mind-muscle connection, stimulate more muscle fibers quicker. So, very effective dose, and I'm a big fan of the ingredient. Almost last but not least, we have some natural caffeine, derived from green coffee bean extract, standardized for 98%. It yields 350 milligrams of total caffeine. That's quite a dose, but the one difference you'll notice, when you take natural coffee bean extract, it feels smoother. It doesn't like rock your head, and you don't get a massive anxiety attack like if you were to have the same amount of synthetic caffeine. So it's a smoother ride, it feels a bit cleaner, and it's a sort of a shallower bell curve, if that makes sense, in terms of the energy effect. It's still definitely a big dose, and I would start out with a bit less if you are stimulant sensitive, but much cleaner burning. I personally am a big fan. Last but not least, we've got some L-Theanine, which is going to help balance out the caffeine and give it almost like a smoother delivery, so that you get a better effect. And that's what's in it. So they've checked all the boxes. We've got muscular endurance, muscle power, muscular, improving our muscle threshold in terms of what we can do. We've got a nootropic and focused blend. We've got a nice CNS stimulant with our caffeine, and no other standalone stimulants as well, which is nice. So all in all, it's very effectively dosed, very well put together, and very clean cut as well. There's nothing dirty in there. There's no stims that are going to give you that edgy crash or anything like that. So let's mix them up. This comes in 2 flavors. We've got the Sour Duke, I think is the name of the flavor. I've just had the biggest mental block. I've got the other flavor. Sour Batch, I apologize. Sour Batch and the Rainbow Sherbet is what I've got here. Have a look at the scoop. It is absolutely monstrous, and this tub is full to the brim. It is packed in there tight. It definitely doesn't clump or anything like that. The powder quality is super fine. You can see it dusting off here, but it's a loaded tub. You are certainly getting 30 big serves. One, some of that. Now, I did not bring a glass with me, a nice clear double wall glass like I normally would, so you're just going to have to trust my judgment on mixability. But one thing about Man Sports is there's no dyes and artificial colours in here, which personally I think is good because they don't really serve a purpose. You want it to taste good, but you're not drinking it for the look. So, let's go, try this out. It's pretty darn good. It does have a nice, the rainbow flavour is really good. It's got a nice sherbety tang. That's typically meant to be a bit of a sour, tangy flavour anyway, so it works with it. It also helps to cover, like the creatine hydrochloride is a very bitter, sour, dirty ingredient, as is L-Citrulline for that matter, so I think this flavour works. That's why those sour type flavours cover the massive amount of raw ingredients very, very well. So they've done tremendously well to flavour such a loaded product with such a minute amount of flavouring, like the amount of active is 88%. Doesn't leave a lot of space left. So overall, I think the rating on the flavour is very, very good. I'd give it like 8. It's that darn good, especially given the amount of actives. In terms of the effects, which is exactly why you're taking this, as a performance-based pre-workout, phenomenal. You can push yourself harder, you've got better power, better muscular endurance, you can just go ham in the gym and do your worst. You can lift all the weights, push yourself harder for longer, and you've got the power to do it because you have so many active ingredients at proper efficacious doses. The neurofactor has you in the zone. That and choline work really, really well together, and the energy is super clean. For me personally, the full scoop was just a little bit too much, if I'm being honest. It's a little, I got a little flighty, a little anxious from having that much. It was just a bit too much caffeine for me, but if I had a little bit less, I've got the lip tingles here going on too. If I had a little bit less, it was really good. About 2/3 of the scoop, 3/4 was my sweet spot. Fantastic. I trained really well, workouts were on point, focus was fantastic. The energy was super clean. You get amazing face tingles from the beta-alanine, which I personally love. Let you know the effect is coming. And no crash whatsoever. Really smooth, back down to your normal self. Had a nice run-off of mental focus and so on after your workout, which certainly isn't a bad thing. And all in all, I mean, it's hard to say a bad thing about this. The flavors are good. The value for money, I think, is tremendous because there's so damn much in it. There's 30 serves for $69.95, and they have 30 of the most loaded serves of a pre-workout you could probably find. So $2.33, you would get, like I personally would get 40 to 50 workouts out of a tub. So bang for your buck, pretty darn good. The flavors are good. There is only 2 flavors, but they're both good, and the range is more than enough. So overall, I'm a fan of Game Day. This is my personal favorite out of the Man Sports lineup. I think it really packs a big punch. It leaves a real statement as a legitimately really well put together pre-workout. And if you're looking for a very complete performance-based pre-workout, if you train legitimately hard, you demand a lot of yourself physiologically, you're putting high intensity, hard workouts in, Game Day is an excellent option to check out. It's available now at Spartansuppz.com, $69.95, free shipping over $100, and we do worldwide shipping starting as little as $4 or $5 to our friends across the pond in New Zealand. That wraps off this review on Man Sports Game Day. Big fan. If you want to check some out, jump online and grab a tub. I don't think you'll be disappointed. That wraps up this review. If you have any questions whatsoever, please make sure to leave them down below as a comment. We'll get back to each and every one. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all things Spartansuppz. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Patrick from Spartansuppz.com.